Hi, I'm Lois Beres at KZGN-TV, and this is Ridgecrest Talk. And today I'm talking with Doug Bennett. And tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're here for, what your program is.
Yeah, my name's Doug Bennett. I'm with Magdalene Hope. We work in the commercial sex industry, basically anti-commercial sex slavery. So we fight human trafficking, and we have a safe house, Restoration Ranch, and joining me is Angelica Lostaunau. She's the facility director of Restoration
Welcome.
Ranch.
We appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
And how did you get started in this?
You know,
We need that so badly,
right.
but it's hard to know who's going to do it.
I'm a pastor and
okay.
A Christian, and I've always been one to, I guess, try to find a need and then fill it with the love of Christ. And so one day I just went out to talk to prostitutes, and they didn't really want to talk to me, and I prayed and felt like the Lord said to pay them, and so I got a team of people together, and we started going out on the street and paying the girls for their time, and we would tell them about
Visit with them and tell them about what?
A Father in heaven who loves them, had a purpose and a plan for their life, and it just started going from there. The girls looked forward to seeing us. Everyone wanted to get paid by the church people, is what we were called.
That's kind of cool.
We started finding out more about pimping and the men who would take the money. So then we changed our approach, and we started giving out backpacks, bags with like toiletries and makeup and jewelry and flip-flops and the things that the girls would need while they were out there.
And how did you get funded for this? Was it personal? Or?
It's all, I mean, the first probably year was all just money from my paycheck. And then people started finding out what I was doing, and they started giving, and then someone offered to do all of our paperwork for us for a 501c3. So now we're a nonprofit organization.
So donations would then be deductible?
Yeah, everything is
for
tax deductible.
For the donor.
Sure.
All right. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it's just kind of snowballed into this. 6 years later, here we are on
You have
Ridgecrest
a facility,
Talk.
And here you are on Ridgecrest
Yes.
Talk. That's awesome. I'm so glad to have you.
We're honored to be here. Thank you very much for having us.
And you work in the office, is that correct? Or you work
Yeah,
with the facility?
I work at the Safe House.
Okay. And that's in Bakersfield?
It's in the Tehachapi
In the area somewhere over there.
It's a safe house.
I understand.
It's somewhere in a mountain.
We have a shelter here, too, that I say, it's here. But
Right.
you don't have to know where.
No, you
But
don't need
somebody
to know where.
does. But I'm just curious if it's in this county or the next
It's
one.
in
or
Kern
the-
County.
Excellent.
It's in the Tehachapi.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you stay there most of the time.
Yes, I live there.
Okay. Oh, okay. Great. So your church was over there in the area too?
My church is in Bakersfield.
Okay.
The church I attend.
Okay. You were pastor, but you're no longer pastor of that
Well,
church?
no,
or-
I'm ordained through my Bible college, Summit Bible College,
Oh,
which
okay.
is, they have a campus in Bakersfield. They have several campuses throughout California and the United States, and they're worldwide online. And so one of the campuses they have is actually at our Safe House. So we have an online school.
Oh.
And so all the girls that actually come into our program, which is a one-year program, the girls work towards getting their degrees. So we have
Wonderful.
a couple of different girls working towards their master degree, their associates, and their bachelor degrees.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a different angle of life than they're used to.
And that's
so.
all out of Summit Bible College offering to partner with us. Just like everyone else, the house was actually paid for by a private citizen. He and his wife felt led to give money towards a house. That's what they felt like the Lord was leading them to do. So they approached us, and 10 months later we found the house, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It's on like a half-acre property, and just a beautiful place. And
Really?
Angelica lives there with another program director, so we have 2 full-time staff, and then we have a couple of clients.
Do your girls rotate? Do they go in, then they might get a degree and then get on out, or how long do they stay?
So it's a one-year
1 year.
Christ discipleship program.
Okay.
Bible studies. We have church ladies groups that come in, and then after they graduate the year, then we offer them 9 months of transitional housing. So in that 9 months, they can go get a job and put their education to use, or they can get a job and save up money in order to get their own place.
That's great. And you help with that, probably.
Yeah, she's the exception to the rule because she graduated. And,
Oh, did you?
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay.
did.
And then we made a position for her and brought her on staff.
Well, yeah, because you need somebody that maybe could help people by saying, I know what you're going through.
And
kind of
that's
thing.
exactly what she brings
That's
to the table.
perfect. And
Yeah.
do you enjoy that? I mean, it's kind of a fulfilling thing, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, my life has purpose now. I wake up in the morning excited to go to work and to have a job and to have the opportunity of just sharing my faith and the experiences that I had to deal with.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's really good. And we did that because of you and your guidance, your thoughts that where you needed to go.
Yeah.
So how do you get the people now?
Some of it's word of mouth. Like I just took
Okay.
a phone call right now of someone trying to get a girl out of Southern California. So my our organization is registered through the National Human Trafficking Resource Center.
Oh, really? I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah, it's
Is
based
that-
back in Washington, D.C. It's an
It's a
800
government
number.
program.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, it's not a government program.
Okay,
It's
I'm glad.
funded, but they have an 800 number. Any girl can call that number free, toll free, or they can text in the word help. And if a girl wants out anywhere in the country, there's first responders who will be dispatched in certain counties. So I'm one of the people that gets dispatched as a first responder to someone who wants out and wants help, and then we go there and we do an extraction or a rescue. We pull them out of a bad situation, and then we offer them a way out. You know, she doesn't necessarily have to come into our program. There's, I think we're one of 27 programs in the country.
In the country.
Yeah.
That's still not very many.
No,
for-
not too many.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many people do you rescue on an annual basis?
I think our numbers were over 15 or 20 last year in
For
2014.
your own little,
Just in Kern County.
wow.
We,
Not-
we,
don't mean
we
little,
got one
but
out
I mean
of
your own.
yeah, we got one out of Los Angeles, but
Wow.
other than that, the ones were out of Kern County.
And we don't think about that, living in Kern County. It seems like kind of a dream place to live, you know,
Right.
especially over here because we're kind of away from everything. But I lived in Bakersfield for a while, and I wouldn't think of it being there either. So-
Bakersfield's on the 99 freeway, so you have the 99
That's
corridor,
true.
and then it's right by the I-5. So the I-5 is anything from Canada to Mexico and all your major cities along the way. They drive
Oh,
girls
yeah.
in and traffic them, put them in the hotels and
Oh my gosh.
sell them out of there for a couple of days, and then they move them to another city. So Bakersfield's one of
Okay,
the
we're
stops.
about ready to go to break, so we're going to come back in a little bit and talk a little bit more about your program and some of your success stories maybe, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes. Hi, you're back with Lois and Doug and Angelica, and we're talking about the Magdalene Hope, is it Project?
Magdalene
Ministry?
Hope, Magdalene Hope Ministry.
That's it, the Magdalene Hope Ministry.
Yes.
Okay, and this is the administrator, the leader, the pack, or whatever.
I'm the
And they
founder
have-
and president.
Founder and president, there we go. I'm going to get all this straight before we're through. They have put together a film in regard to human trafficking, and I guess it was sort of your idea, and then somebody else helped you, and you got this film put together?
Yeah, so in Bakersfield, they have their newspaper there is the Bakersfield Californian. And we've had quite a bit of media coverage over the years, and a reporter had called me for some questions on a human trafficking case, and I invited her to come on the street with us. So when she came out, they also sent a photographer with her.
Really?
And when we were done, that article got picked up by the Huffington Post.
Oh,
It was a really good piece that she wrote. But the photographer pulled me aside and he said, "Hey, do you want to do something a little more in depth that might show the human trafficking that's actually happening here, and maybe, you know, like a documentary?" And I said, "Absolutely."
oh, that would be wonderful, yes. And so it was the Bakersfield Californian that brought this to mind in the
Pretty
beginning.
much, yeah. The photographer. So he's since on his own now. His name's Michael Fagan. So he's the director of the film and the producer. And my running buddy. It took us 2 years to film. We're actually still filming bits and pieces because we're going once we show this here. We have another one coming up in Fresno, and then we have an offer for Portland, Oregon. But eventually, we're going to enter it in different festivals, and we're looking to enter it in the Sundance Film Festival. with
That'd
a
be
little
great.
bit longer piece. Yeah.
Oh, that would be really neat, wouldn't it?
So this film follows the lives of 3 women who were trafficked in Kern County, and one of them's Angelica.
Wow.
So
Were you kidnapped or what? I mean, I don't know how you would start. I know so little about this.
Yeah, my mother was a heroin addict, so at the age of 12, I began to go on lunch dates with her drug dealer and bring home her drugs and my lunch. And then I thought that was the only way to live. And
Sure, you wouldn't know otherwise.
Yeah,
especially if your mom is having you do
Right,
it.
and you're 12 years old.
Sure.
Wow.
yeah, I kind of I just went along with with the process of selling myself, and I became to enjoy it. And just as an adult, I felt like I was trapped and I had no other way out.
Really? So how did you get out? Did you find her? Or
Yeah, why don't you share about that?
do you mind
Yeah.
sharing with that?
I was a witness to a murder,
Oh my God.
and my pimp ended up putting a hit out on me. And
We hear about this all the time, but seeing it real is just curdling.
Yeah, so this is in Bakersfield on Union Avenue.
Really? Oh my God.
She dodged bullets and was
my
almost
gosh,
ran
girl.
over.
yeah.
Oh.
So I ran into the Golden West Casino, and I begged for them to call the police. And I believe the only reason why they did call the police is because they were because it was a casino. It wasn't a motel, and they had to. I was on camera, and they had no other choice was to
Well,
call
that's a
for
great
help.
place that you went into.
Yeah,
That's
because
good that
the
you
first
picked
place
that
I
one.
actually was in was the lobby of the not the lobby, but the when you go to check out a room, and I ran in there, and they,
the desk part.
yes,
yeah.
they closed off their their doors
The
to
desk,
me,
yeah.
and
Oh.
they refused to call the police and get me any kind of help. So I was standing
Oh my
in there,
gosh.
screaming for help, and
Really?
no one came out to help me. So I had no other option but to run across the street and to ask them for help.
You had the presence of mind to do that, though. And
Yeah.
that's awesome that you knew that you had to get help.
Yeah,
at
I
that
had to
point.
get help, and at that point the police took me to the hospital, and from the hospital they contacted the Alliance.
Okay.
The Alliance Against
Sexual Assault.
and
Okay.
Family Violence.
And you
Alliance
work with
Against Family
them?
Violence, Sexual Assault. Yeah, they're
Okay.
they're one of our partners that we work with.
Okay. And so then they came and got you or something?
Well, the director of their safe house, they were full, and she was in general population at the homeless shelter,
Ah.
waiting for someone to show up to kill her.
That's a
Yeah.
little scary.
Yeah.
Because you knew they were after
She
you.
wouldn't come out of the room. How long were you there? For a few days?
I was there for 4 days,
Oh my
and in a little room. I felt like I was in a jail cell. I
Really?
had no,
That
there
must
was,
have had that same feeling.
Yeah, there was no windows. There was one door. There was bunk beds in there, and
You
I
didn't
just-
know when the door was going to open and have the wrong person come in. Or
Exactly.
whatever.
Because anybody can come on grounds there. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So the Alliance called me, and then I called her, and I asked her if she wanted a way out. She said yes. But,
Wonderful.
still she was a little hesitant, but...
Well, you have to be a little bit hesitant, and because you didn't know him either.
Sure.
no, I didn't.
Right.
I believe that he was sent to kill me, and
This guy was.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Because there was a hit put out on me, and
You knew more than they wanted you to know.
exactly,
Oh.
and I had no other choice. I felt like I had totally just given up on myself, and I went to law enforcement, and I went to the hospital, and everybody was just kind of pushing me into
Get somewhere
and
else.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I was too much. So
Oh,
at that time,
somebody
when,
has to stop that, and that's so wonderful that your program did that.
yeah. So
So then he did actually come to see you,
he came to pick me up at 6 a.m, and I remember circling around his car,
looking
and just
checking it
just
out.
afraid,
Yeah.
because I felt like I had no other option but to get into the car. I didn't want to make a scene anymore, and I was just tired.
Mm-hmm. But you
Yeah.
could have. You don't know. So you didn't know him. You didn't know that you should or shouldn't get into that car with him.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I always
Oh.
travel with somebody, and
Oh,
I
that's
had-
a good thing. I was
I
going
had
to
my
ask.
brother with me that day.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Sorry, Ridgecrest talk.
That's
Cough.
okay. We have
It's
to cough
cough
sometimes.
talk.
It's when it's spring. So then he did get you to a safe place.
Yes.
And then you
Yeah.
did your year there. With
No, we have a staging. We have a women's
Oh.
shelter, sexual assault and domestic violence shelter that we work with. So
Oh, okay.
all
So
the
you got her
clients
to that.
go into that shelter for the first 30 days, and then
Oh.
it's kind of a trial period to see.
And
if
that
they
makes
wanna
you know
come
that
or-
you're safe, and that makes them know that they can help you.
No, I was
That-
serious about wanting to get off the
Exactly,
streets and
right.
get some help.
That's
about
perfect
that.
because it's time in your life. How old were you at that time?
I was 29.
Oh, wow. Really? I didn't know you were that old now. We're going to be back in about 2 minutes. We're going to talk a little bit more about the movie and come back in 2 minutes and we'll finish up. Okay. And we're back. You're back with Lois and Doug and Angelica, and we were just about to get Angelica rescued. And tell us a little bit more about your story.
Yeah, it was a good cliffhanger right before the
Right
break.
before,
too.
wasn't it awesome? Yeah.
My rescue was amazing. I got into the car and I drove out of town, and I remember receiving the purple backpack on Union Avenue, and my pastor gave it to me, and he said, "Here, God told me to give you something," and he reached out the purple bag. That's when I knew I was safe.
Remarkable.
Before I left that day, I was putting stuff in the car. We always bring like a care package of clothes and things that maybe, the person we're rescuing might need, water and food. And I was almost out of my house, and God said, grab that backpack. So I grabbed the backpack. We had these purple backpacks that say Magdalene Hope, and they have our number on them, and I threw it in there, and when I handed it to her, she knew she was in a safe place.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So
Up-
that gave you a real good feeling then.
Up until that point, I was looking for every opportunity to jump out of the vehicle. So
Gosh, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, it would have.
We're like transporting you to safety, you would have like jumped out, and boom, 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 big old
But you
big
don't
old
know
dust
where.
cloud in the rear mirror. Like,
But
what
maybe
the
you're
heck?
safer out of it. You didn't know.
I didn't know.
No.
I didn't know what safety
What do you
looked
think
like.
we were doing?
I thought that they were there to kill me, and they were giving. He asked me if I would, if I knew Jesus Christ, and at that moment in time, I believed he was giving me my last rites.
She thought we were taking her out in the middle of nowhere, and we were going to
They'd
kill her
just
and
get
dig
rid of
a
her,
grave
and she
throw
wouldn't
her
have to
in.
worry anymore. Oh my
I don't
Lord.
really look like a pastor, so.
No, you don't. You don't have that pastor look. That's true. But that's probably the reason that the ladies talk to you,
Yeah, exactly.
because you don't look like
Not
that.
showing up in a suit.
Right. You're not going to go out there and preach to them right immediately on the street corners. So then you got.
So
you
then
got-
she came into our program. She came in day one back in 2013 and graduated, and we brought her on as staff. And so
did you
she's just
get it-
one of the stories that we follow in the film.
Oh, that's wonderful. So she is actually in the film, and it tells her story.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
So
Now,
you'll
this
see
film
her
that-
when she first came in. 'Cause we did some raw footage of her when she first
Really?
came
Is that funny?
It's wrong.
Did you have purple hair? You're going to have to go see this
It's
movie,
good
folks.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we follow two other women,
Okay.
and then there's other abolitionists and people who are fighting human trafficking in Kern County. Phil Gaisley, he is the head of a grassroots organization in Kern County called the Kern Coalition Against Human Trafficking. You can go to kcat.org and look at the website there. You can also
kcat.org.
kcat.org. If you want to see a trailer of the film, that's at thetrafficlife.org. The
Trafficlight.org.
The
Okay.
Traffic Life. So Traffic Life.
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 I said light. Okay, the
The
traffic life.
trafficlife.org. You
I
can
got
see
you.
I think a minute and 45-second trailer of the
That
film.
tells a little bit about the film.
Yeah, it just
Okay.
shows a couple of interviews. It's pretty intense. And then the film is about an hour long. We're showing it this Saturday, March 28th. And there's two showings from 1:30. There's one showing at 1:30 and then one showing at 3:30.
And where's it going to be?
It's going to be at Ridgecrest Cinemas.
Okay.
So we're taking over the whole cinema. Get ready.
No
It
kidding.
is on.
All
So we'll have a
right.
silent auction in the lobby.
Okay.
And then all proceeds from that silent auction will go to raise money to combat human trafficking here in Kern County.
That's amazing.
We also have service provider tables of people who are fighting human trafficking. Those will be set up so you can get information there. The movie's about, I think it's 50 minutes long.
Okay.
And then we'll have a panel of the people who are in the film. Angelica and I will be on the panel along with, I think, 3 other people.
Okay.
And then the director, Michael Fagans, he'll be there answering questions too. So we'll
You'll
have
talk
a
a little bit
microphone
about
we
what
can pass around.
we talked about, and then will there be times for questions?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can also get involved. You know, we don't want to give you a film and then, hey, this is what's happening in Kern
And then
County.
go home and forget about it.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But we want to give you guys, if you want to get involved in combating human trafficking, this is the 2nd fastest growing crime in the world.
Isn't it amazing? I had never realized it until I started doing some research.
The average age that a girl enters into prostitution is 12 to 14 years old. So I mean, this is a big concern of what's actually happening in our society. And you know, when I found out about it, I thought, well, I have to do something.
You have to.
So.
And when you people like you that get that feeling that you need to do something, that's when things start happening.
I'm a doer.
And that's great.
I'm not
That's
one to
great.
sit by and watch something happen. I'm
That's perfect.
one to speak up and go out and affect change.
So you
I
actually
have 2 20-year-old daughters. I have a 21-year-old and a 20-year-old. And if someone was selling them, I'd want somebody to go do something
wouldn't
about
you?
it. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
That's and when I see these beautiful ladies and what they're having to go through, they need somebody like you.
There's
out
people
there.
just like Angelica. You know,
Yeah.
she's a mother of 5.
Really? I had
She's
no
a
idea.
daughter, you know, she's
Yeah.
a friend, and she's an amazing person.
Amazing human being.
But, you know, society
yes.
looks at the prostitutes and thinks, you know what, they're choosing to do that. You know, if I could leave your viewers with one thing today, Lois, and that is our studies show in Bakersfield that 75% of the women who are out there by someone else putting them out there through force, fraud, or coercion.
Wow.
So 3/4 of the women that people see working are not choosing to do that. They're actually being forced or put out there, and someone else is profiting off of it.
That's what I was going to say. They don't get the money for that
No,
most part.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And you know, they're told when to eat, what to wear, when to sleep, how much sleep they get. I mean, literally, it's a living prison.
Horrible.
It
I
is.
just can't imagine that life. I mean, I'm so proud of you for helping them out because that's awesome.
Praise the Lord.
And yes, for sure. And we have just about a little over a minute left, so we want to retell about the movie. It's going to be about a 50-minute movie.
50-minute movie.
We'll
yep.
be at Ridgecrest Cinemas.
Ridgecrest Cinemas.
Can you buy your ticket at
You can buy your ticket at the door.
At the door.
We take,
okay.
Card or cash.
Oh, good.
We
'cause a lot of
love the
places
cash.
don't.
Why
You
would
like the cash?
We like the card. You know, it's $20.
$20
So-
per person.
$20 you get. We have water. We have finger food, so dessert will be served.
Oh, okay.
Also, while you're at the theater.
You're going to throw it in just one, or it'll be in several of them?
No. Yeah, 1:30 and 3:30.
1:30 and
theater.
3:30. So
Yep.
you should be through well before.
I think we have about
3:30.
200 tickets per, so we're hoping for a sellout. That's
I
what
hope
we're
so.
looking
Everybody
for.
needs to think about going to this because it's in our life.
The doors
and we
open
don't
at
need
1
to let it
o'clock.
go.
So
Oh,
you can
really?
come in. We have local artists who have put art up, and then we have local businesses who actually have things that you can bid on for a silent
So you're going to
auction.
have a silent auction.
Yeah.
Okay. And what else do we need to tell them as far as, do you need to give your phone numbers out in case somebody needs a
Yeah,
rescue?
I
or
mean, the traffic life, my phone number that calls me direct, 661-808-HOPE. 808-HOPE, 661-808-4673.
hope.
808-4673.
And there is hope out there.
Yes,
there
there
Because
is.
there are people like this and people like you that have helped. So we're just about done. I
Lastly,
really appreciate
the National Human Trafficking Hotline is 888-3737-888.
Okay, so if you need help, you can get it. We'll try to get that on our schedule so that we can see it. You can see it when you look at our stations. And get that before we take off. And go see the movie, 1:30 to 3:30, and 3:30 on Saturday at Ridgecrest Cinema. Thank you very much. We're out of here.